Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX India A-List. In our endeavour to bring forth the stories of some of India's finest and brightest, today we have put together yet another unmissable telecast with India's who's who. Well, first we have with us Mr. Vijay Venkatesh, who is the CEO of Empert Consultants, an executive recruitment firm providing leadership hiring, niche and turnkey hiring, startup hiring and career services. He has over 17 years of experience in executive search, having led C-suite and board-level searches for corporations across a variety of industries, including startups and VC firms. Have a look.
Starting a new venture during pandemic. Tell us about it. How did you decide to start it during the pandemic?
IT infrastructure, remote infrastructure was hiring in a big time, and manufacturing, yes, was hiring in a big time. So there were a couple of industries which were hiring.
Seizing opportunities amidst a crisis. 17 years of experience. I'm sure that must have really helped you shape it.
2008 recession. 2008-10, the financial meltdown. That's when, if you see, a lot of senior leadership hiring happened in the country.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Vijay Venkatesh for excellence in business. Hello and a very warm welcome to NewsX A-List. Today I'm joined with Mr. Vijay Venkatesh. He's the CEO of Empert Consultants. A very warm welcome to NewsX, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, Richa. Hope all well. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for asking. Vijay, very interestingly, you started your organization during the pandemic. And, we've heard like during the pandemic, a lot of people started their work, but it did not go forward the way they would have desired. But yours has. So tell us about it. How did you decide to start it during the pandemic?
No, I was always inclined to be own. I having working in the executive search space for the last about 16 plus years. Then having worked on an entrepreneurial role in my previous organizations, that's when I said, let me start on my own. And I felt pandemic was the right time. I had the place where I was working, I was given an opportunity to lead a larger role. But then I decided, let me launch on my own. Just about June 2020 or July 2020, we decided we should start on our own, and we moved out, and that's how the organization started. But then people told that was the time organizations were closing down, hirings were and all of that. But I was always sure there are certain pockets of the industries which were still hiring. For example, infrastructure, IT infrastructure, remote infrastructure was hiring in a big time, and manufacturing, yes, was hiring in a big time. So there were a couple of industries which were hiring, and we've been working on very senior roles then, having worked in the industries, working with promoters, founders, and across SMEs, family-run organizations, and MNCs. Yes.
That's something new to hear, because actually we've all heard it the other way. So it's very interesting to hear it from you that there were actually hirings happening during COVID.
Hiring did happen, yes.
And yeah, your 17 years of experience, I'm sure that must have really helped you shape it in a way, your consultancy in a way that, it's helped it go forward now.
Yes. Yes. In fact, having closed a lot of CXO roles, worked with a lot of promoters and chairmen, had their leaders across verticals, across industries in the country and outside the country. That helped me in actually, I mean, when we started, they were very happy to support. See, good or bad, the hiring always happen. Good times or bad times.
Okay. Maybe, and right now, so what do you say? Which sectors are hiring?
In fact, during the bad times, only many of the organizations which is not able to afford certain kind of candidates are only during the bad times, or they are able to get in those people. For example, in 2008 recession, 2008-10, the financial meltdown, that's when, if you see, a lot of senior leadership hiring happened in the country.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
Small firms are not able to afford those the qualified candidates because could be of various reasons. But then salary levels were obviously less. They were willing to take a cut. But yes, a lot of hiring happened. And to be frank, in the last 5+ years, we have always been in a hiring growth in pockets. If one industry goes down, the other industry comes up. So, be frank, from two people, we have come to about 70 people over the last 3 years, right from time which we had about two pandemics, three lockdowns. But then the organization's growth, it talks about the kind of hiring country has seen, and we have, as an organization, have seen.
So,
Not just in India, but also outside the country.
Vijay, can you help me understand which sector is hiring right now? So where do you really see the hiring spring at this particular moment in 2023?
What I see is manufacturing is one which is hiring big time, thanks
Okay.
to China plus one strategy. A lot of MNCs are coming in. Also, the company which is Indian organizations are also going in for capacity expansion, which means also hiring is happening. Infrastructure, there's a lot of happening in the real estate, ETC, power and infrastructure. And BFSI is also hiring in a big time. And in technology, certain areas, especially GCCs and GICs setting up operations in India, they are hiring big time.
So when you talk about
Yeah.
hiring and in tech level and infrastructure level, are we looking at certain sectors? Are we looking at the top notch which are hiring, or are we actually looking at mid-level hiring also happening right now a lot?
It is across. A lot of, if you see the project launches in the country, real estate and the government spending in terms of infrastructure, government spending in terms of logistic parks, the logistics policy have all actually turned into hiring across levels. It's not just at the leadership level. This is across the spreads, mid, entry, and leadership.
Interesting. So if you talk about somebody who's wanting to do a career shift at this point in time, let's talk about somebody who's not at top level, because top level, you really do not do a career shift. It's usually at the mid level or the lower level. What would your advice be to them? Which sector
See,
should
one
they towards?
shifting the career is something which they have to take a strategic decision.
Yes.
I mean, I would not just at this moment, but generally, you have a doctor for your health and a lawyer for your legal thing.
Yes.
But careers also have to be done properly. You get an opportunity, you don't jump into it. You need to see which are the industries which are growing. What is my opportunity? If you fill a triangle with a lot of people, dots, consider those dots as people.
Mhm.
At the top, you have only one dot, that is a CEO or a CXO level. But the person has come from the bottom up. But why many are not able to reach? Because they were not able to plan the careers properly. Career planning is extremely important in career. I mean, you see a lot of people getting fired at the age of mid management, and we call it as mid career crisis in this space.
Yes.
You need to plan career very properly. You need to work with career consultants for this. And in terms of which are the industries, I said these industries are hiring. Infrastructure, HR roles are being hired, procurement, estimation, execution, and in the banking, if you see, a lot of sales roles are getting hired. Wealth management is hiring. Wealth management space is hiring. Branch banking, transaction. A lot of segments across the industries are hiring.
Which I would want to know two very important things from you. One, if somebody wants to start off new, you started off your own business, so starting off new, what is your advice to them? And after that, I'll have to, before I let you go, I have to ask you one more question.
I'll tell you, don't focus on valuation. Don't start a business for valuation. You see, a lot of big firms saw a valuation game. People, money was pumping in. They thought pandemic is going to last for a very last long, and then they jumped into. See, if you're looking at a small time window and then want to do something, it's not going to last long.
Okay.
And you should start your business for value creation.
All right.
That is what I would suggest people.
Makes
And
sense.
we didn't get any funding. We started on our own, and today we are a profitable entity.
That's excellent. Vijay, what is a sector right now, like, a new sector that you feel that is aspiring, that is growing up for people to make, like, to start their careers in? There was a point in time where, people would not talk about startups, would not be entrepreneurial in our country. Now that has been an in thing for a long time. We see a lot of people, youngsters now shifting towards the understanding of AI. So what do you think, what is that new sector where people and the youngsters should focus on?
Semiconductors.
Yes.
That is what is India is the world is. If you see it is very simple. If you see the world's problem today,
Yes.
Semiconductor has been a major problem. Electronics, AI, and semiconductors. This is going to be a boom in the next 5 to 6 years. There's this huge amount of hiring happening in the space. Though you don't have a semiconductor fab facility in India, there are a lot of semiconductor companies which is called the design firms in India. They are hiring, and this is one sector which is going to really see a boom in the country.
Thank you.
Electronics manufacturing, I would put it this way.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Richa.
Thanks a lot.